Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Archangels and Ascended Masters, for the perfect guidance, perfect clarity, and perfect peace that's here for all of us right now. Thank you to the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We welcome this opportunity to honor Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and for everything that she did in her life. We honor every moment of her life. We also honor her smooth transition into the non-physical. And we welcome from you, angels, any message that you have around her, her transition, and what is here for us to do. So if we could see a space, what Archangel Michael is showing is the power going into our hands and into our voice. And if we could feel a sense of transference. So if Justice Ginsburg indeed became light, and we get to receive part of that light. So if we could just accept that for a moment, just breathing into power being limitless. And if we could also feel a dose of her incredible focus, her eyes being on the prize. And let's put our eyes on the prize, which is a functioning democracy, which is people mattering, which is unity, which is oneness. So if we could recognize her consistent advocacy in her life and in her legal work, including as a justice, for equality. If we could just breathe in and allow that equality to be present within us and for us to feel equal with all beings. So if we could notice releasing subservience, releasing a space where we defer power away and just accept right now all the goodness that is here for us right now, all the power, our functioning voices, our functioning will, our functioning creativity. And if we could just let hope be also in our hands, letting hope be in the center of our palms right now. So if we could just breathe into this held space that we collectively have and just breathe into this held space of hope that we are each generating individually and collectively. If we could just breathe into all that. And let's say a few things out loud. I embody equality. I am fully empowered right now. I have hope in my heart. I see hope with my eyes. I release seeing hope as a risk. I release any treachery around hope or having hope. I let my voice be heard. I speak loudly for hope. I speak loudly with hope. I articulate hope with my tongue. Wonderful. If we could just breathe into all that. And so if we could feel the upliftment, all that is taken, that release and those affirmations, if we could just feel this space, it's like a different space existing. And from that space, if we could very simply honor a life well lived by Justice Ginsburg. And if we could notice what they're saying, her stature didn't matter, and she created what she wanted to be by not paying attention to rules, by advocating for herself and others, and for speaking truth. So if we could just notice those qualities and notice what we could do today with those qualities. We could speak our truth through our creativity and perhaps feeling the openness of that. We could reach out and advocate to senators from our own state and other states and let them know. to recognize the power of speaking up, to not assume anything, but to use will. If we could very simply just breathe in once again, and the word tenderness has been introduced to our workday. Let's very simply, with tenderness, honor a life well lived, and a life that we could all honor and respect. So if we could just breathe in as we honor Justice Ginsburg, reunited with her beloved husband, being able to help us, joining John Lewis as another titan of America and loving America and the high ideals of America, for those two forces to be available for all of us right now, and to feel the empowerment that they give us. And if we could notice a message which was echoed from 2016 of they trust us enough to not be on the planet anymore. They know that we can do it. So if we could notice any feeling of abandonment or that the good has gone with a death, if we could just breathe into the sense of trust in what is passed on to us. And the 2016 echo is the year started with David Bowie dying and then Prince and all these different icons. We notice that those voices, musicians are mass communicators, that this sense of these iconic figures passed to hand the voice over to us. So if we could just breathe in, just pick that up. And if we could say very simply, I have a voice. I welcome tenderness into my heart. I speak truth. I speak words of love. I speak words of love for my country. I nourish my country. Wonderful. Just breathe into all that. Great. Wonderful. And let's very simply notice Archangel Michael being right with you, perhaps a few feet away from you. And if we could just place your attention on him, whether you feel him, see him, or know that he's there. And if we could very simply notice him looking at you with eyes of love. And for him, with incredible love and only love, to pull away from you any disempowerment that might have happened at any moment in your life. Be that overt, subtle, implied, based on age, based on gender, based on geography, based on stature, based on assumption. Let's just let him pull away from you any of those things. Anything that might imply that you can't. Let's let him pull those things away from you. Wonderful. If we could just breathe into that. And if we could notice Archangel Michael, this might be different for everyone, through his mouth, either putting fresh air into the atmosphere, speaking your name, saying the word hope, maybe a combination of all those things. Let's notice him using his mouth to empower you by changing your cells and changing the atmosphere that you're in right now. Wonderful. And if we could notice Archangel Michael coming right up to you with a touch, with embrace, and if we could notice the energy of tenderness, the quality of tenderness being part of that, and if we could notice Michael taking on the quality also of like a sports coach, of encouraging you, cheering you on, instilling trust within you and faith, self trust within you. And if we could notice this opportunity today for focus, if we could notice this opportunity today to use your voice, be it by making phone calls, social media, Twitter, there's room for us. There's room for you. If we could just breathe into that, let's say that out loud. There's room for me. There's room for us. I am included. I have hope. I share words of hope. Wonderful. If we could just breathe into all that. And as he's done several times in recent months, let's very simply notice Archangel Michael sitting beside you like you're going to watch a movie. Let's just very simply let your heart have room for your highest wishes to come forward. And let's let Archangel Michael show you your nation, America, 6 months from now, from the perspective of your highest wishes, your highest good, the highest good. Let's just breathe in. Let's just notice that. We'll notice that it's okay for us to focus on exactly what we want and be surprised by how good it is. To feel the relief of integrity and trust being restored. To be relaxed physically. To have unity as a nation. To have an actual plan. To have actual action happen rather than reaction. Let's just breathe in to this sense of shared effort, shared responsibility, but having leadership that you're aligned with in place. So it's very simply just breathe into that. If we could very simply notice the energy of hope, the physical reality of hope, which is expansive, which does increase our options, and which everyone wants. Wonderful. If we could breathe in. And if we could feel for a moment the fact that Joan of Arc had tremendous hope and she accomplished great things. We all know her name. Ruth Bader Ginsburg had incredible hope and she accomplished great things, and we all know her name. Archangel Michael has tremendous hope in his heart for you. You're not done. You've done a lot, and you're not done. Let's just take in a breath. Let's say that out loud. I'm not done. I have hope. I give my hope wings. I give my hope wings by speaking. I give my hope wings by creating. And if you could just fill in the blank, I give my hope wings. And what else comes? Wonderful. We'll just breathe into all that. Wonderful. And if we could notice this fluid, flowing, positive image and knowing and feeling of the future of 6 months from now, let's just take on a breath and come back into this immediate moment. If we could just breathe in to this immediate moment of you and Archangel Michael together. If we could feel the orderliness of this moment, that perhaps our action steps are super clear, which is to speak up, to speak about what you want, to communicate what you want, to not be in a fight, but to advocate, to be clear. And if we could feel once again, one of the first things, which is Archangel Michael placing hope in your hands and the empowerment from Justice Ginsburg coming into your hands, into your soul. If we could just take in a breath. And if we could take a moment truly to honor Justice Ginsburg, if we could very simply say out loud to her, thank you so much. Good job. And well done. Let's say out loud to her, I honor you. I honor you by having hope. I honor you with perseverance. I honor you with self-confidence. I honor you with self-realization. I honor you by honoring myself. Wonderful. We'll just breathe into all that. Wonderful. And whether you see her, feel her, hear her, or know her, let's let Archangel Michael help show you Justice Ginsburg in her new energy, her health being restored, the ease of her transition, the wording that has come around that, it's like she just stepped off the sidewalk, ready to go, ready to help, ready to serve. Let's just affirm her easy acclamation, her being reunited with loved ones and with titans of American justice and American ideals. And if we could recognize how much she loved the idea of America and the ideals of America. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in. And let's very simply, whatever it means to sit a little taller, stand a little taller. And to feel present, to feel empowered, to feel cared for, to feel nourished, to feel the power of hope, to feel the clarity of this moment. and to very simply to be calm. Wonderful. And with all of this said, a lot of words have been said. If we could just breathe into the clarity of these words, the focus and the fuel of these words, and recognizing that all is well, it's safe for us to act, and it's safe for us to continue what has already started, which is an advocacy for equality, decency, hope, and creating heaven on earth. And heaven on earth is everyone being valued and seen and heard, everyone expressing themselves positively, everyone contributing, and us focusing on advancement, care, tenderness, and peace of mind, using all of ourselves like we do here. And with this recognition and with all the glory and goodness that is here, we quite simply and lovingly thank the presence of Mother, Father, God, and all the archangels and ascended masters. We thank as well the angelic realm, the elemental realm, our ancestors, spirit guides, animal guides, and guardian angels. We thank you for this opportunity for generosity, for honor, and for great peace, including productive peace. And we celebrate our ability to be calm and to be calm enough to create, to recognize our creative flow is right here. And it's highly accessible right now. So we choose to interrupt stress with action. We choose to speak about what we want, to envision what we want, and to let it all be present for us right now. And we thank Archangel Michael for his wonderful care and wonderful presence. And for all this, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is. And we once again, we honor Justice Ginsburg for a life well lived and for a wonderful legacy left. And so it is.